my esteemed brother and sister judges, distinguished former judges, Mr. Kamal Trivedi, learned Advocate General, Ms. Manisha Laukumar, learned Government Pleader, Mr. Mitesh Amin, learned Public Prosecutor, Mr. Devang Vyas, learned Additional Solicitor General of India, learned Central and State Law Officers, the family members of Srimati Vasuben Popatla, learned Mr. Kishore Trivedi, learned Chairman Gujarat State Bar Council and members of the State Bar Council, Mr. Asim Pandya, President, Mr. Prithviraj Singh Jadeja, Vice President, Mr. Hardik Brahmbhatt, Secretary, and other office bearers and members of the Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, learned registrars and other members of the Registry of the High Court, distinguished senior advocates, learned members of the Bar, family members of late Senior Advocate Ms. Vasuben Popatlal Shah, ladies and gentlemen. We have assembled here today to mourn the sad demise of Vasuben Popatlal Shah, Senior Advocate of this court, by recounting her personalities, qualities, achievements, and contributions. Although I was not fortunate enough to interact with Ms. Vasuben Popatlal, I have received inputs about her from my esteemed colleagues, senior members of the Bar and Registry, which I wish to share. Ms. Vasuben Popatlal was born on 17th October 1932. After completing her MA in English Literature, she opted to join the legal profession. After law graduation, she was enrolled as an advocate with Bar Council of Gujarat on 7th September 1960 and started her legal practice in this High Court. I was told that she was the first lady advocate who joined the Gujarat High Court Bar then. Initially, she joined the office of Mr. N.R. Oza. Thereafter, she started to practice independently and she handled umpteen number of cases in the fields of civil rights, property, education law, service law, personal law, family law, constitutional law, corporate law. She also appeared in many important cases relating to Bombay Rent Control Act, Transfer of Property Act, and motor accident claims cases. Ms. Vasuben Popatlal was on the panel of ONGC and also on the panel of Central Government Standing Councils for some time. By notification dated 8 September 1995, Ms. Vasuben Popatlal was designated as a senior advocate by this High Court. She was the first lady advocate who was designated as senior advocate by this High Court. She had many junior advocates in her chamber and she trained them very well. Honorable Ms. Justice Rekha Ben Doshti, former Chief Justice of Patna High Court, was from her chamber. One such another junior is Honorable Ms. Justice Bela Ben Trivedi, Judge Supreme Court of India. Other juniors from her chamber are currently practicing in this High Court. I was told that when she argues a matter, she was very clear in her mind, thought, and the arguments were convincing and to the point. She was very perfect in drafting the pleadings, which would itself convince the judge about her case. Ms. Vasuben Popatlal took active part in Lok Adalats held in different districts of the state. She also rendered her services as Honorary Secretary to Gujarat State Legal Service Authority. Mr. Vasuben Popatlal had left legal practice to serve the common public in 1998. On 15th February 1997, she founded Sarjan Foundation for serving the society. I am told that she devoted the rest of her life for upliftment of disadvantaged in the tribal belt of Sabarkantha and Banaskantha district. Even during her practice as a lawyer, she was associated with various charitable trusts like Shreyas Trust, Prantich Kelwani Mandal, Vishalpur Kelwani Mandal, Gujarat Stree Kelwani Mandal, and she was also the chairperson of Inner Wheel Club, Ahmedabad South 305 for 2 consecutive terms. I am told that despite all success to her credit, she was the most humble and down-to-earth person. Ms. Vasuben Patel left for heavenly abode on 15th May 2022 at the age of 89. I was also told that as per her wish, her body came to be donated to Anatomy Department of NHL College, Ahmedabad. Vasuben Popatlal Shah is survived by Ms. Avni Ben Arvind Bhai Shah, her sister-in-law, and passing away of Vasuben has caused a great loss to her family, friends, and immense loss to the entire legal fraternity. On her death, we have lost not only an eminent advocate, but also a great human being of extraordinary industry. I, on my own behalf and on behalf of all my sister and brother judges, express our heartfelt condolences to the members of the bereaved family. May the Almighty give them strength to bear the great loss and overcome the grief. May the departed soul rest in eternal peace.
My lords, on behalf of the legal fraternity of the state of Gujarat and on my own behalf, while associating with the sentiments that have fallen from my Lord Honorable Chief Justice, I express our deep sense of sorrow on the said demise of a senior advocate of our High Court, Ms. V.P. Shah, fondly known as Vasuben. As referred to by my Lord, late Ms. Vasuben Shah was born on 17th October 1932 in a business family. After completing graduation in arts stream from LD Arts College, Ms. Shah pursued her post-graduation with English literature from Gujarat University and graduation in law from Shala College. After obtaining a degree in law, Ms. Shah enrolled as an advocate on 7 September 1960 and started practicing in the High Court of Gujarat by joining the chamber of Senior Advocate late Shri N.R. Rosa. Notably, Vasuben was the first lady to join the Gujarat High Court bar. In a short span, Vasuben established herself to be a formidable lawyer with exceptional command over English language. She practiced mainly on civil side and more particularly in the fields of civil rights law, property law, education law, service law, family and personal law, constitutional law, and corporate law. During a successful practice spanning over 38 years, Ms. Shah received several accolades at different stages of her professional career. She had a high success rate whereby she had represented her clients commendably in a large number of civil cases with a great mettle and vigor. Ms. Shah had clarity about the law and facts of every case. Therefore, while concluding matters, her arguments were always lucid and convincing. In fact, she confidently dealt with challenging cases, developing pertinent points to successfully persuade the court in her favor. Appreciably, in doing so, she maintained a very calm and composed demeanor. Thus, as a result, in 1995, she was the first woman to be designated as a senior advocate in the High Court of Gujarat at Ahmedabad. In spite of being very busy in profession, Vasuben always found time to play a very proactive role in contributing to the society. She was a part of a team of lawyers who initiated Lok Adalats in different districts of the state. She also served as a secretary to the Gujarat Legal Services Authority. During this time, she encouraged and mentored several junior lawyers by providing them guidance and entrusting them with legal matters to further their potential. In fact, many successful legal luminaries commenced their journey in this honorable court from a chamber, and to name a few, and as referred to by my lord, Honorable Ms. Justice Rekhaben Doshi, who retired as the Chief Justice of Patna High Court, and Honorable Ms. Justice Belaben Trivedi, Judge Supreme Court of India. During her professional career at the bar, Ms. Shah left her mark, especially in the field of property law, education law, service law, and corporate law, whereby various landmark judgments are incorporated in various law reports, which is a matter of legion. Amongst many important cases wherein Ms. Shah displayed her gifted intellect, coupled with persistent advocacy, and left her mark, a case of PG Textile Mills deserves a special mention at this juncture. In the said case, she was appointed as amicus by late Justice Mr. M.P. Thakkar, former Chief Justice of this Honorable Court and former Judge of the Honorable Supreme Court, so as to present the interests of the employees of the said closed textile mill. Pertinently, many of his employees were from state of Odisha, who had passed away, and for want of information, their heirs were not on record. Remarkably, Vasuben on her own chose to go to districts of Mayurbhanj and Khedunjar of state of Odisha in the quest of finding out the names and addresses of the legal representatives of the deceased employees. Though she could find out names and addresses of few employees, what had moved her was the severe poverty prevailing in the said districts of state of Odisha. Ultimately, she was successful in getting various retirement benefits to the legal representatives of the deceased employees. However, her memory of having been associated with the said case was so deep-rooted that she had made a vivid description thereof in my presence to Honorable Mr. Justice K.S. Javeri sometime in the month of December 2018, when his Lordship was the Chief Justice of Odisha High Court. I distinctly recall of respected Vasuben having told us that the said case had changed her outlook towards life, which in my view was reflected in later part of her career when she started taking keen interest in various philanthropic activities. A self-made personality, a woman of many accomplishments, a legal luminary to the core, Vasuben was a remarkable combination of compassion and hard work. She was a firm disciplinarian and was the epitome of simplicity with a humble aura. Of course, these words are hardly adequate to describe her unique qualities and legal acumen. However, what is stated in Vidur Niti in Mahabharata perfectly applies to Vasuben, wherein it is stated, I quote, Satyena rakshate dharmo, vidya yogena rakshate, kulam vruten rakshate. Meaning thereby, truth protects religion, which was a legal profession for Vasuben. Constant study and meditation protects education. And character protects the fraternity. That was also the legal profession in her own case. Apart from contributing to the legal profession, Ms. Vasuben also believed in adding value to the society. Hence, she was associated with various charitable trusts, such as Shreyas Trust and Gujarat's Sri Kelavani Mandal. She also served as a trustee secretary of Prantij Kelavani Mandal, and she was the chairperson of Vishalpur Kelavani Mandal. Ms. Shah was the chairperson of Inner Wheel Club, Ahmedabad South 305, for 2 consecutive terms. On 25th February 1997, Ms. Vasuben, along with Sri B.R. Shah, a very exemplary senior advocate of a High Court, founded Surgeon Foundation, of which she became a trustee on 31st October 1998. Under the aegis of the said foundation, she set up a livelihood skill training center at Ambedkar, an art and craft center for empowering women at Prantij, and Robert Smith Technology Center at Palanpur. She also organized eye checkup camps in interior parts of Sabarkantha and Arvali districts, facilitated cataract surgeries with lens implant free of charge at the specialized hospitals, initiated scholarship programs to support education of disadvantaged students, and many other benevolent activities. Pertinently, at the peak of her career, Vasuben left legal practice in 1998 while following the footsteps of Sri B.R. Shah, and thereafter invested her time and efforts towards improving the quality of life of the deprived section of the society. Vasuben's life had been a voluminous one, unbound and unabridged, with no paid numbers and indices, no footnotes and glossaries, a life heavily underlined with overwritten margins. Vasuben is no more with us. Her pious soul left for heavenly abode on 14th May 2022 at the age of 89 years. However, before bidding adieu, she seemed visibly happy when one of her favorite junior colleagues, Honorable Ms. Justice Belaben Trivedi, Judge Supreme Court of India, could see her in the evening of 13th May 2022. Saying to her benevolent and altruistic nature till the very end, as per her wish, her body came to be donated to the Anatomy Department of NHL College, Ahmedabad, for the study of medical students and faculty. As aptly said by Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States, which very much applies to respected Vasuben, I quote, in the end, it is not the years in your life that count, but it's a life in your years, unquote. Late Shri Vasuben is survived by her sister-in-law Avniben, along with her son Madhav and daughter Vaishali. We wish that Vasuben had remained with us longer, but God has willed otherwise. However, her memory will always remain with us. On behalf of the bar and the legal profession of the state, I convey the heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family members and friends of Ms. Vasuben Shah. May the departed soul rest in peace eternal.
Honorable Chief Justice Arvind Kumar, other honorable judges, learned Advocate General, learned Additional Solicitor General, learned Government Pleader, learned Public Prosecutor, family members of late Ms. Vasuben Shah, senior advocates, officers of the High Court Registry, and my friends at the bar. I individually and on behalf of the bar fully associate myself with the expression of grief fallen from the Honorable Chief Justice and the learned Advocate General. It is indeed a matter of great sorrow that Miss Vasuben Shah is no more with us. It is said that women are the largest untapped reservoir of talent in the world. It is also said that a woman is a full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture, and transform. When I think of late Miss Vasuben Shah, it takes me back to my initial law practice when I joined this profession in the year 1989. In those days, only a few women were doing law practice and were fully established in the profession of law. Out of those 4 or 5 women lawyers, Miss Vasuben Shah was at the top. Other women lawyers who had established themselves in practice were Miss Katie Mehta, late Miss Kusum Shah, late Miss Devyani Shah, and many others. Other women are mostly newcomers in the profession of law, namely as referred to by Mr. Trivedi, Miss Rekha Doshit, Miss Bela Trivedi, now Supreme Court Judge, Miss Pauromi Sheth, and Miss Parinda Dawala, and so on and so forth. The table in the library of the old building of the High Court, occupied by late Miss Vasuben Shah and senior advocate Mr. B.R. Shah, had a fleet of other occupiers and renowned lawyers, namely late Mr. Kirit Rawal, who later became Solicitor General, Mr. Akshay Mehta, who became judge of our High Court, and many other lawyers. In the old High Court building, due to the space constraints, nobody had individual chambers in the court premises, except the Advocate General, late Mr. J.M. Thakur, and the government pleader concerned. The greatest advantage of space constraint was that every lawyer knew each other by name and would accommodate the other on their table. I have had many opportunities to occupy the table of late Miss Vasuben Shah and Mr. B.R. Shah. In those days, Miss Vasuben Shah had a thumping practice, which was a matter of envy for many. I got many opportunities to see Miss Vasuben Shah in action, arguing complicated cases before various judges. She was a formidable opponent and very industrious lawyer. She would not leave or concede to any argument in court and do her best to get justice for her client. Law journals are replete with the judgments where Miss Vasuben Shah had appeared, and all those judgments would show her knowledge of law. As mentioned by Honorable Chief Justice and Learned Advocate General, late Miss Vasuben Shah was the first woman lawyer of our High Court to be designated as senior advocate. In fact, she was the first woman lawyer to start practice in the newly established High Court of Gujarat in 1960. I could imagine how much struggle she might have faced in her initial years of practice in this male-dominant profession. Despite all odds, she could carve out a niche in the profession. Her legal acumen, hard work, sincerity, and punctuality was unmatchable. And perhaps for that reason, she was bestowed the designation of senior advocate, and thereby she became the first woman designated senior advocate in the state of Gujarat. Thus, her place in the history of women advocates is no less than the name of Miss Leela Sheth, who was the first designated senior advocate of India. When Miss Vasuben reached the pinnacle in the profession of law and could have minted money, she decided to give up practice for social services. After year 1997, she served society for 25 years and tried her best to improve the lot of the illiterates and the weaker section of our society. It is rightly said that behind every successful woman is she herself. By her own efforts, she earned the name in the profession and served our society. By her death, we have lost a very good and kind human being. I pray Almighty to give all her family members, friends and relatives enough strength to sustain the vacuum created in their life by the death of Miss Vasuben Shah. May her soul rest in peace. Om Shanti.
As a mark of respect to the departed soul, 2 minutes silence be observed. The Registrar General may convey the message of condolence to the members of the bereaved family. As a mark of respect to the departed soul, the proceedings of the court would stand suspended for the rest of the day.